Okay, let's dive in. We're looking at Albert today. You know that budgeting and banking app that says it'll handle everything? Spending, saving, investing, all supposed to be in one slick package.
Right. It sounds like the dream solution, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Financial control simplified.
exactly. So our job today is to figure out, well, is it really as solid as it looks? Or are there, hidden things that might trip you up? We've gone through the company info, the big reviews,
Oh.
and some pretty vocal user forums to give you a quick, balanced take.
And what's really interesting right off the bat is how they built trust. I mean, this isn't some shadowy operation.
Yeah.
Well, you look at the basics. It was founded by actual people, Yin and Ravid and Andra. They've got, a physical office address listed, a phone number, email support.
Right, real contact points, not just hiding online.
Precisely. That kind of real-world footprint, it definitely suggests they're a legitimate business.
And they're not shy about being seen either. They've got a pretty big social media following, right?
Oh, yeah. Huge. Over 120,000 followers on Instagram alone. Plus, they're active on Facebook and Twitter talking to users. That's significant social proof.
Okay, so there's infrastructure, there's visibility.
And that seems to line up with the official ratings, too. If you check the App Store or a Trustpilot, the scores are actually pretty high.
Like, what sort of scores are we talking?
We're seeing around 4.6 stars on the App Store, 4.5 on Trustpilot, and that's from, thousands of reviews. So by those standard measures, it looks like a solid, well-liked service.
Hold on, though. 4.6 stars, that's really good. If most people are happy, what's the disconnect? Are we just hearing from a noisy few who had bad luck, or is there maybe something more systematic going on that these big scores don't really capture?
That's exactly the puzzle.
Yeah.
Because when you step away from those official App Store reviews and look at places like Reddit, you definitely get a different feel.
Different how? Not saying it's a scam.
No, not fraudulent in that sense. The complaints seem to center more on, well, transparency issues.
Yeah.
Especially around features and, crucially, fees.
Ah, the fees. Okay, so here's where it gets tricky for you if you're thinking about using it. The main sticking point seems to be around a premium service, right? Sometimes called Albert Genius.
Exactly that. Users felt like they almost had to sign up for Genius to get the features they really wanted. Like getting their paycheck a bit early.
Which is a big draw for these kinds of apps.
A huge draw. So people were pulled in by the free tools, but then found the stuff they really valued, quick cash access, maybe financial advice was behind this subscription, and it's not cheap. Potentially $150 a year.
And the issue was they didn't feel it was clearly explained up front, like a bait and switch almost.
That's the feeling some users described, yeah. That the real value proposition required this charge they weren't really expecting or didn't understand was mandatory for certain things.
And it wasn't just the surprise cost, was it? I saw mentions of other problems, sort of operational headaches.
Definitely. People reported issues just trying to manage their accounts or even leave the service.
Like what kind of issues?
Things like money automatically moving into investment accounts, maybe without super clear consent, and then finding it difficult or slow to get that money back out.
Oof, that sounds frustrating, especially if you need the cash.
And maybe the most irritating thing we saw mentioned, fees popping up, even when people were trying to close their account.
Wait, they charge you to leave?
Apparently, in some cases, yes.
Yeah.
Which really says something about the experience once you're in that premium tier, doesn't it?
Yeah, that doesn't sound great. Okay, so let's try and sum this up for you listening. What's the final verdict?
Well, the core finding is that Albert is a legitimate company. Real founders, real presence. Yeah. It's structurally sound in that sense.
Oh, there's a but.
A big but. Caution is definitely needed. The key takeaway for you has to be, read the terms and conditions very, very carefully. Understand exactly what triggers that Genius subscription before you link a bank account or put money in.
Basically, if a feature seems too good to be free, double check if it actually is.
Absolutely.
So, thinking bigger picture here, these all-in-one platforms, they promise so much convenience, right? Budgeting, saving, investing, all in your pocket.
Yeah, the appeal is obvious.
It makes you wonder, though, where's the line between offering genuinely helpful, complex services and just overwhelming people with fine print they have to wade through to avoid getting hit with surprise fees or, high-friction charges later?
That's a really important question for the whole fintech space moving forward. Something to think about next time an app promises you the world.